Marhaba and how's it going, everyone? For those who are new to the show, this is Yuwab, a space dedicated to have answers to calm your mind, empowering your workplace, and trust me, eventually it will leave you in a very good state of mind to unlock your full potential. I'm your host, Saeed Alghafri, and let me just express how grateful I am for having you here and for you to allocate the time to hear me out. I get this question a lot, and I get a lot of, I have my LinkedIn channel. My LinkedIn is pretty good, I would say. And I get this a lot by email, in LinkedIn, in private, etc. And they always tell me, how could we become a CEO? Or how could they be good leaders when it comes to, especially people who are starting their career? And let me tell you something. It wasn't that easy at all. It wasn't that easy. I had to go through a lot, and because I was very determined when I started my career, and sometimes it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy. It was very difficult. And you know what? I felt that with the questions I'm getting, etc., it would be good to allocate an episode specifically around that. And I'm gonna share with you few of the lessons that I've learned from my college time all the way to today, which is basically I'm today the CEO of a company in Abu Dhabi. Now, something I learned, the first thing here is something I learned very late in my career. Very late. Maybe I would say, and I regretted that time, is, family comes first. This is your investment. This is your investment when you age. Nothing else. Your health, your family, this is what will take you forward. This is what will take you this is what will make you. And that's why I'm focusing a lot of time on well-being. Yeah, because I know that's very important and that's your competitive advantage. Now, being in the day-to-day activities, being in the day-to-day, stress, you will easily get caught with work, emails, demands, or meetings. This is normal and you can't stop it. You will get easily distracted with those. And you know what? For me, it's not that difficult to fill my calendar with meetings, etc. But again, it's very important for me to have my work, where I work and dedicate my time to work, and then the time when I go home, enjoy my time with my family or with my friends. And I want the same to happen with my employees or the people I work with. So, make well-being your priority. This is something I learned very late, and I'd like you to basically prioritize it today. Unless there is a crisis, life is full of dramatic stuff, crisis. You can't. There, I think that well-being thing will basically support you. It will make you much more stronger. There, I think maybe you need to have that discussion with your family that I'm going through this and I'd like your understanding when it comes to that. Yeah? Now, let me share with you my story. And that's where I think well-being is much more important. When I did my first, when I basically got sick and I went through a lot of stuff, I spoke about my story. I hired a coach, and he told me something, and I wouldn't really forget that. He told me, Saeed, you will always remember me. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the day after, but you are gonna remember me. When, after 10 years, 5 years, etc., you will remember it. And I still remember him now. Because he told me that, Saeed, among all the people you talk to, you're going to be the most healthiest guy. You're going to be the most focused guy. If you focus on this workout, if you focus on this specific stuff, if you focus on well-being. And you know what? I can't thank him enough for that, because he was right. So focus on well-being. This is the first thing that you should work on. And trust me, when you're young, You don't need it because you're young, you're very energetic, you know, and the more you go through life, stress go up. You're gonna basically have more responsibilities at work. You may have some challenges. You may get sick, God forbid. You will get married, etc. You know what? Things will become much more stressful. And that's normal. You know, it could be intense. And that's why focus on well being. It's really important. Something I learned in college, and it was very funny actually, is that whatever I learned in college, I thought I'm gonna come to work and straight away apply it. It wasn't the case at all. It wasn't the case. When you are in a university or college, I mean, now maybe they encourage, let's say, free work, not unstructured. But then there are systems. When you go through math, there is a book. You go through equations, you go through that, chemistry, etc. When you do a lab, they give you the guidelines to do it, etc. You have homework, you have a pass or fail. But when you come at work, it's a completely different animal. It's completely different. يعني let فلسفة وايد يعني you can't really compare that. That's different and this is different. And that's where we need to basically focus on what they call soft skills. You know, something like negotiation, something like, you know, teamwork, you know, all that jargon that you learn in corporate. But these are very important. You need it. You know, communication, when you go up, when you become the manager, you talk to people, you have to deal with people, and you need to start coaching them. Now, let me share with you what happened in college, you know. Before we graduated, there was a professor that I really admired. His name is Dr. Manning. And he told me, he was telling us, guys, I need to share with you something. Yeah, all right? I'm like, what's wrong with you, man? What do you want to share? He said, whatever you learn in college, you are not going to apply it at work. All right? And I'm like, man, what a waste of time. I spent 5 years in the USA and you're coming and telling me that. But that's the fact. That's a fact. What you learn in school is good. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to basically walk away and say, listen, we're not going to go to college. No, it's important. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you a lot of stuff. It teaches you so many things. But again, keep in mind and don't be very much disappointed that when you come to work, you won't be applied. All right? That's the second one. So whatever you learned in college, very much, you won't be very much applying that when you come to work. The third one, I get that a lot and I see people doing it. What do you think about me going and doing my MBA? That's very important, you know, or any other degree. And when that happens is that, I don't know what I tell people not to do it, but I don't want to advise them more. I think an MBA or a degree is valuable, but I feel experience is much more important, especially when you start your career. I would delay that to year 3 or 5 because it's very important to build your experience, build your capabilities and work, and then you go and do your MBA because that's the most important. When you start your career, if it's not research or if it's not something, don't really focus on going into MBA and PhD. It's not really maybe needed. Look at the job criteria. If it is needed, then yeah, go and do it. But again, most of the time, it's not really needed. And I know it's difficult, yeah? But it's very important if you want to do an MBA, is you do it part-time. I did that. It was very tough because you have to do it after work. And you need to compromise on so many things like family, etc. And what I see is a lot of people that push themselves to finish it in 1 year or 2 years. Why? It will not give you anything except, you know what, maybe you have an agreement with your company and they say, you know what, if you finish your master's degree, we're going to give you a raise of 200%. But that's not the case. So take it easy. Because what's really important here is experience, building credibility at work. That will basically give you that career progression in your life. And then you will have that thing happening. And what I see that people prioritize MBA as a full-time. Don't do that. This is at least what I see and what I've seen from people who are successful also when it comes to their career. So Experience, number three, experience is very important. Yes, education is valuable, but keep it as a second priority. Now, the fourth one is seek knowledge. Seek, and you have to mean it when you go and ask for knowledge, or for someone to share with you their knowledge. They're not obligated to give you that. Trust me when I say that. If they do it, they're really great. But most of the people I interacted with, it takes time for them to build that confidence and trust. Yeah? I'm sure you've been there. Let me share with you a story. When I started my career, I had a very sweet advisor, really nice guy. And the way he gives you the advice is very much street smart. I love it. Very much close to my heart. And you know what? He said, this is basically it. These are the paper, da 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 da. I said, okay, great, man. And he said, I need to give you one piece of advice. He gave me an example. I can't share it with you. It's not a good example. It's a bit, rated 18 plus, kind of an example. But again, the key from that example is that every person has a key. Yeah? And he was telling me that, listen, if you want to go and get that knowledge, if you want to go and get that specific thing, each person has a key. And you need to find out what's that key. And that's the difficult part when you go into the working place, is that you need to know how to deal with people. And you need to basically gain that confidence that they should give you the knowledge and the trust. So trust me, it's very difficult to seek knowledge. It's not that easy. But it's very important to understand how to basically get it. What's the key to the people when you want to get that knowledge? All right? The fifth one here is, and this is something that I see from people, is they wait until someone come and tell them, please help. Or they basically wait until people tell them what to do. Don't. Just stand up, go and offer help. Don't wait. Who do you think you are? Actually, you're no one. You're nobody. So it's very important to go and offer help. You're there for 8 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours. I don't know. I don't care. Reality here is, you're there, go and offer help. And don't wait for anyone to come and tell you what to do. All right? Just go there, be a pain in the back, and then tell people what to do. And then offer help and tell them how can you basically offer support when it comes to offering help. All right? The sixth one is, this is something that happened to me personally, and I'd like to share with you, is like, be ready to get rejected. Or maybe surprised. By the way, it's normal to get surprised or to be rejected. Let me tell you what happened to me. I had, when I was, during my career, I was told, Saeed, please work on your personal development plan. So I really spent 2 days basically saying, okay, after 3 years, I want to do this. That's my ambition. That's my career. After 5 years, I want to do that. I want to do this. And after 10 years, And I had my discussion with my manager at that time. And honestly, it didn't work very well. It wasn't very much according to my aspiration at that time. Did I feel bad? Yes, I felt very bad. It's not personal. It's that place. Okay. And that is basically the career aspiration in that place. There was nothing wrong with that place. And if you get rejected, it's not because of you sometimes. So it's normal. Rejection is part of life and it's part of the process. Yeah? Now, the seventh one is be everyone's friend. And again, I remember when I started my career, I wasn't very much friend with my peers. I was actually one of the few who went all the way down. And I was very close to the details. I was going with people, doing the work with them, offering support, although I am their superior, by the way, because I wanted to get knowledge. I wanted to basically be friend with everyone. I wanted to gain their trust. So be friend with anyone. Be humble. You know, you don't have to basically show muscles from day one. Again, who the heck are you? These people are there, and we're all human at the end of the day. So don't really feel like you are undermining who you are, right? Be there. And something that I see, I mean, again, yeah, it's basically peers, etc., or basically the people down. When you go to a function or an event next time, right? Think about this. Just notice how the people are reacting and how do you see it. You will see that people who speak Arabic are together. People who speak English, they're together. People who are having a similar interest, or maybe let's say they're wearing a pink t-shirt, they'll be together, all right, something like that. But notice that, you'll see it. It's a reality, all right? And that's how people group, eventually in a class, an event, and that. So try to basically break that, all right? And go, try to be a little bit different. So build your network within your same, let's say, interest, language, let's say country, etc. It's very important, yeah, because you need to have that. Try to extend to someone else, like another group, yeah. I'll tell you why, because now you are out of your comfort zone, and I love that. When you're out of your comfort zone, you learn a lot. You learn a lot. It could be a new skill, a new thing about yourself, all right? And sometimes it may feel stupid, but that's absolutely fine. It's okay. It's fine. It's not like people will judge you. Yeah, maybe people will judge you, but eventually with time, you're going to feel confident. You're going to have that specific stuff in you that will make you very much lovable by everyone, much more friendly by everyone. And this is key. Networking is very important in your career. Don't really undermine that, specifically when you go up. The eighth one here is something I like. It's like cats. Cats are very curious. They just put their nose everywhere. They basically, when there is an area or space, try to be that. Be curious. When you do that, it's fine to make mistakes and have fun when you make mistakes. Something that I like is that, let's say I like to play football all the time. I would try to do something else, because that will basically put me in a zone which I'm not comfortable with. It's a completely different than my comfort zone, and I like that. So do that, work on it, be curious. It's fine. You do it one time, it's okay. What will happen? You don't like it, don't do it again, but you're gonna learn something new from it. And I remember something that my professor told me is that, Saeed, you as an engineer, we as engineers, we hate reading books. And he's right. Until today, I don't like to read books very much, but I made it a habit, and now I feel very much connected to reading books. I like it, specifically topics that are close to my heart. So read books, different topics, not the ones that you like, maybe something different. If you don't like cooking, read a book about cooking. Again, I'm giving you an example, but the reality here is read books, topics you like and you don't like. Most of the people I speak to, successful people throughout my career, everyone tells me, Saeed, we admit that we made mistakes. But at the same time, the contribution that they made is huge, huge. And if it wasn't for those mistakes, they wouldn't make it. Again, very important is when you go to a specific company or place, talk to the person who are basically you're reporting and tell them, I'm going to do that. What do you think? If it's a disaster, yeah, naturally, it's a mistake that you do. But if it's a small mistake, you messed up something, you did this, it's fine. Do it because you learn. And that's what most people told me. And that's what I did. But my contribution or the other people's contribution is really huge. really huge. Something very important is that you'll have to do a lot of sacrifice and trade-offs. And this is normal. Again, I started the whole episode, and again, don't really be like, okay, Saeed, you told us to focus on well-being and da 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 da. No. Very important is throughout the career, and that's short term, these are like specific times that you will have to make some sacrifice and trade-offs, because the payback, the payoffs are much more greater in the future. And here, the key to that is you have to talk to your family. And one of my mistakes I've done is I've just made decisions without consulting with my family, knowing that why would they know? Why should I tell them? But it's very important to tell them. They will understand. Maybe they will cook for you a nice meal when you come when you come home, etc. So, but reality here is talk to them. All right, don't really make them part of the process. And again, I do that even at work. When there are sacrifice or trade-offs, I communicate. And most of the people I meet and most of the books and trainings I've been to, they focus a lot on communication, especially when there is trade-offs and sacrifice, or if you go through change management. And in earlier episodes, I talked about values. Work on your values and purpose. You really need them. And we spoke about tough times and stressful times. And every time I look back, when I'm not feeling that great, I always look at my values and I look at my purpose. And it's really, really helpful. It really grounds you to who you are. Something that I've learned recently, that's the 11th one, is be in the moment. Just be who you are today, the situation you are in. I'm talking in this podcast now. I can't think about something else because I'm going to be distracted. Be in this moment. And don't compare yourself. Don't jump into comparing yourself to someone else and think that you are worse than them. That's not good. Why that is not good? Because the more you think about that, the more it's going to drain you. You're going to just waste time. And it doesn't deserve your attention. That anxiousness from not living the moment or not being yourself doesn't really deserve your attention as we speak. And being, let's say, a Muslim or being a believer in faith or in the universe obligate us that, what happens is basically there. But I have to basically seek much better, because that's going to be my fate and that's what's going to happen eventually. Where I am today, all right, will make the decision for tomorrow anyways. So I need to focus on the now. And that's what I'm trying to say. And something that I notice is that the more, all of us go through, Instagram, LinkedIn, maybe via my posts, etc. And the amount of advices there are ridiculous. Some of them are not even credible. And then you go ahead and do it. Something I like about my parents is that, when I go and talk to them over coffee or when I go to speak to them, they always tell me, yeah, we've seen this advice from Instagram, etc., or from the social media. And I'm like, yeah, okay, what is it? And it's funny a little bit because that source is credible, but sometimes that advice is not applicable for you. So don't listen to that. Just be on that specific moment. And that's what you need for now. And something that I'd like to share with you, that's the 11th one, is every time you go up the career, every time throughout your, let's say age, you have to change your way. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to change your management. Heck, last year, beginning of the year, I had this specific management style. The circumstances around that completely changed. And I had to change. Okay? So it's very important that every time you go up the ladder, every time you go up your career, change the way, look at it, see what you want. All right. So, having gone through these tips that I learned from my career I wish you all the best in your careers, being starting in your position, or a current CEO, or maybe a parent, or a mother, or a father. I mean, I really wish you the very best in your journey, and that's the most important thing. Just enjoy the journey, and I'm sure all of you guys will do very well in your life. All right, so for now, I would really like you to take care of yourself and for those who you care about. And if you really find this episode helpful or beneficial somehow, please share it and subscribe to my channel. You may find me today in YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify for now. مع السلامة.